What would you do if you married into wealth, but lost your dignity? What would you do if every dinner table became a courtroom? If your prayers were mocked, your faith questioned, your presence merely tolerated? This is the story of a woman who married a billionaire. But she wasn't prepared for the war that would follow. Her name was Tisha. She didn't come from money. She came from prayer. She didn't bring status to the table. She brought scripture. And in a family that worshipped success, that was a problem. For years. She smiled while being humiliated. She served while being dismissed. She prayed while being ridiculed. They called her naive, too spiritual, too soft, too simple. But what they didn't know was that quiet faith carries terrifying power. Then one day, the billionaire's sister fell ill, suddenly, violently, unexplainably. The best doctors came, private specialists, global experts. Money moved faster than fear, but the illness moved faster than money. Machines beeped, oxygen levels dropped, hope faded, and the family that once mocked prayer started whispering, "Why isn't this working?" In the middle of hospital corridors filled with panic, one woman was calm, not careless, not detached, but anchored, because she knew something they didn't. There are moments when medicine stops, when influence ends, when intelligence reaches its ceiling, and only faith remains. She gathered her pastor, her friends. She called for a fast, like Esther. No food, no distractions, only surrender. And while doctors adjusted ventilators upstairs, she fought a battle downstairs on her knees. But even faith gets tested. Even believers hear doubt whisper, "What if nothing happens?" What happens when you pray and heaven seems silent? What happens when you fast and the monitors still beep dangerously? What happens when your own husband looks at you with fear in his eyes and says, "This isn't working"? Would you stop? Would you shrink? Would you compromise? Or would you stand? This story is not just about a miracle. It is about humiliation without revenge, faith without applause, obedience without guarantee. It is about a husband who had everything, but realized he had no control. It is about a sister who walked through the shadow of death and came back with light in her eyes. It is about a mother whose pride shattered quietly in a church pew. And it is about one sentence that changed an entire bloodline. 2 words. But God. You will see. A billionaire kneel for the first time. A hospital room shift from panic to peace. Doctors stand speechless, a family transformed, and a legacy born from surrender. But more than that, you will see what happens when faith refuses to be embarrassed, when prayer refuses to be silent, when love refuses to retaliate. Because sometimes, the greatest victory is not proving people wrong. It's letting God prove himself right. So if you have ever been mocked for your faith, felt small in powerful rooms, prayed while others laughed, watched someone you love slip away, or wondered if God still moves today, this story is for you. Stay with me. Watch until the end. Because what begins with humiliation ends in restoration. What begins with sickness ends in testimony. And what begins with doubt ends with a declaration. Not wealth, not medicine, not influence, but God. This is their story. And it might just become yours.